All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. My name is Ray Fernando and Ronald Mannak, and today we're going to go over the latest news in AI this week, July 12th, 2024. That's right, we have quite a bit going on, and just a little bit of background is my name is Ray Fernando, and I used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years, so now I'm currently exploring AI on my own and have been worked on many projects and have been behind the scenes, through these many launches at Apple and exploring this AI space with you. And I found my co-host Ronald after publishing a video on YouTube, and excited to talk to you about AI stuff. And let me just kick it off to Ronald and have him introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. So my name is Ronald Mannak. I'm the developer of a LLM frontend called Pico. I just released a new version yesterday. So if you haven't checked it out, just search for Pico with a C space GPT in the Apple App Store for Mac and for iOS. And yeah, super stoked about the new version. So yeah, that's in short. That's me.
That's excellent. So here we have Pico GPT kind of pulled up, and for those who are looking for it, you can download his assistant. And basically what we do is that we work on AI and engineering stuff, and so having a background in software engineering, also having background with hardware engineering, as Ronald does as well, and building apps together. We're here to kind of like learn in this space and also share kind of what we are seeing around the globe. So one of the things that kind of came to our awareness a little while back was about this hackathon in which this group were using TinyGrad at the AGI house, and with what these guys actually did is that they've connected multiple Macs together in order to have a distribution and do like an AI training. And so they used Thunderbolt 4 to interconnect four of these guys. And it sounds like they've definitely won the hackathon. So it's this guy named Alex and this other guy named Mohammed. And I'll have Ronald talk a little bit more about this. And I think he's kind of working behind the scenes as well, trying to see if we can get this guy onto our show. Right?
Yeah. Well, so we were supposed to have like Mohammed on the show today. That didn't work out because of an interesting like probably wrong phone number that we used.
Yes.
Even more interesting is probably I think as I understand it, they're based in the UK now. But Mohammed sent me a Dutch phone number, so I'm going to assume that because of Brexit, maybe he had to change his phone number. But yeah, that didn't work anymore. Not on iMessage at least. It did work on Telegram still. So I got in touch with him just now. He is on the plane because he missed all our messages that we sent. So yeah, we'll hope to have him and his partner Alex in the show next week, because I'd love to hear like what they did. I mean, it's pretty insane. So for Mac Minis, they flew them in for the hackathon here in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
And they connected it. They were able to run like a distributed trading system basically with four Mac Minis. And I want to learn more. I want to learn like what they did, how they did it, all the specs. It's pretty awesome. And they won the hackathon, right? They were the number one winner of the hackathon. So yeah, amazing project. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, these guys are definitely cracked for sure, and pushing the limits, because one of the things that we discovered is like, actually, I think you or someone, didn't you put a pull request out to Apple to set up the infrastructure so that we can have inference this way? Because there's, I think, right?
Yeah, though I created the issue on MLX.
Oh, for MLX, yes.
Yep,
It's based off of this post from Yassine.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So Mohammed and Alex didn't use MLX. They used TinyGrad. And they focus on training, not on inference. Though I mean, the request that I made simply was like both for inference and for training. But I think with the MLX, I think like even though it was like designed or made for like training, I honestly think it seems that most people are interested in just like this super fast, lightning fast inference that MLX offers.
Yes.
And of course, I mean, we saw this week a very interesting project on MLX called MLX. What was it? What
FastMLX?
FastMLX? Yes, that's
Yes.
it. There we
Yes.
go. Now,
Yes.
that is very interesting.
Yeah, so from Prince Kanuma, a friend of the show actually, he's nicknamed the King, MLX King, and what he's been doing is actually converting a lot of these models to be available to run on your Mac. So for those who don't know, usually to run a lot of these models, you need like a really nice GPU, more specifically from NVIDIA, that makes these things very compatible, and you'll need a PC. And so a lot of the Mac people, when they're trying to run this stuff, you're just not really utilizing everything you possibly can on the system. So they're
Yeah.
using the,
No, you can use Olama, right? I mean, there's Olama,
yes.
which is fast. Is based on not Whisper.cpp, but or Llama, of course, Llama.cpp. It's fast, but I think I mean I'm not sure if Prince did any benchmarks. But so far, what I've seen, and it's a little bit like in Flux because like MLX, both MLX and Llama.cpp are getting better like every week or every day more or less. But I wouldn't be surprised if FastMLX is actually faster than Olama. I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the case. I'd love to see
Yes.
like benchmarks for this. But yeah, super interesting project. Really cool. And I mean, he already like added things like that you can have multiple streams at the same time. That's something that Olama introduced only like last month actually. Before then, you could only have one stream or one like request at a time.
Wow.
But that's something that FastMLX now already has built in, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, we talked last time about like how Prince doesn't sleep, and this is another example, I think.
Yes.
It's yeah, it's pretty cool, very
Yeah,
cool.
it's constantly pushing updates, and Prince Kanuma, thank you so much for your contributions, and for anyone who has had a chance to check it out, definitely go check it out. We're gonna try to see if we can do some show notes like after the stream and just kind of post it down. And if anyone has any comments, feel free to drop them because we can feature you on our stream, which is really fun. And we love doing that. And so speaking of beefy machines and all the different things that we need set up, Technium just dropped this link saying, according to the information, Llama-3 405 billion parameter model will be released on July 23rd. Taco Tuesday, my friends. And so, yeah, today is July 12th. So we're just a little bit of days away from basically AGI being in our pockets. No, yeah. And so what this means for us is that, first of all, to run a 405 billion parameter model, you're going to need a lot of RAM available. And so it's going to be really interesting. So I made an app called LLM-Calc, and it's really interesting because a lot of times you have a machine, but you're not really sure how much RAM you need to run on your actual machine, like to actually run the model and load in the parameters. And to do the calculations, it's even more confusing, and very few people know how to do that. So if we enter in here, like if we have a 128 gigabyte RAM machine, and we do like I think most people like to do like an 8-bit quantization. The number of parameters we can run with 128 gigabytes of RAM is about.
That's not gonna work. Not gonna work.
Yeah. So what type of machine would we need, or how many machines would we need to link together in order just to run this guy, right? Like if you have a 512 gigabyte RAM machine, you can basically load this
Yeah.
into your stuff. But like if you had maybe
It's still
four,
quantized, right? I mean, it's still
yes,
quantized, so it's
yes,
not even
that's
like a
right.
full model. Wow. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that's just kind of getting you a sense of the scale of how big this model is. But if you can run it or get this running on like a infrastructure like Groq with a Q, Groq, and then have it deliver in the speed that you want it, you'll have an extremely capable model. And as I've been learning, I'm doing a little series with starting coding GPT-2 from scratch. I'm learning that as you add more of these parameters, the actual model showcase more of its features, which is something I found really fascinating. And if you have a model like this that's open source, imagine all the different features that you can pull out from it, but then a bunch of other cool tricks with fine tuning and various tasks that people like to do, either with agents or throw this into a mixture where you can start to do a lot of different tricks. It's going to open up the possibilities, especially with it open source. So that's the current, rumor slash hype. So we'll see. July 23rd. Definitely stay tuned in.
Yeah, so that's not next week, but the week after.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, how long would it take, like, Groq to have like this model, not quantized, like full quality on their servers? Would it be the same day, 1 day later, 2 days later? Because this is what people are
Uh,
waiting for, right? This
I've
is the
heard
only
some
way.
birdies say that they may have it available
Oh,
day zero. So we'll see. We'll see.
days.
Yeah.
Did you say days early?
No, like when it's released, it would be available for inference on Groq. But
Nice.
that's a
Okay.
rumor. Like we,
Wow.
we started the rumor here first. So yeah. If you're liking the show, definitely. By the way, hit the in the little corner. You can hit the with X. You can actually repost the show so that more people can see it. And so my name is Ray Fernando, and we have Ronald kind of resetting the show here. And what we're doing here is just providing a weekly update of what we're seeing in AI this week. And there's been a lot going on. And one of the things that we actually were able to do yesterday was actually hop into an AI Tinkers event. So AI Tinkers, this place took a place in San Francisco, and the vibe is literally old school computing club where you show up and demo cool stuff that you're working on. You can have slides, but most part they encourage it to be as like rough as possible. It's like, hey, I just started coding this and this is what I got. And this person actually came up with this physics model that was based off of for rock climbing. So it's like literally he was able to model a human and like its movements and feed it in like a lot of data, like similar to like a Sora model. And so it's a SABR-climb 600 million model. And he basically took the factors of human movements and was able to make a physics-based model for this AI rock climber to actually look at a situation and figure out how to climb. So that blue thing is his model that's moving into that space with all possible human movements and stuff that can actually work, which I found extremely fascinating, and I was able to post it here. And so yeah, that was an interesting thing. Were there any other projects that you saw that you thought were interesting during that event?
Yes. So the one so I missed like the first few presentations.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are people listening who did like one of the earlier presentations yesterday, I apologize. I didn't see you. The one that caught my attention was, I tweeted about it and I forgot the name,
Mm-hmm.
but it was basically like it takes your code, and it creates a Wikipedia page, or Wikipedia site, actually, a wiki site, of your code
Oh
with all the
yes.
links to all the relevant code in it. And then it creates like the second thing it does is it creates a chat interface to chat with the wiki and your code. And I mean, when I saw that, I mean, oh my, I want to use this. Mutable, that's
Oh,
it. Mutable.ai.
Mutable.
Let me see if the
Yes,
link works. Yes. So yeah,
I
it
have.
says like I click on the link. It says creating living documentation you can talk to, which is a great title.
Wow.
Um, I
And
do.
are
I
they only
see.
available through private? Like, or can I sign up today right now?
It
Pricing?
seems that
Oh,
if
get
you
started.
scroll down, there you go.
Oh,
Yes, yeah,
let's
$2
go.
if you have open source. So,
That's amazing. So you can talk to your
oh
code and it
man,
creates a wiki-like interface.
yeah. Is
Oh
it
my
insane?
gosh. That's
That's so
amazing.
cool.
And so I think
I
he
mean,
was demonstrating how in depth it goes, and it's like he has these agents that like are going through in very fine detail and actually making this stuff. It's not
yeah,
just a
yeah.
generic prompt. The quality
But
seemed extremely high.
exactly, and this is something that should be built into GitHub. So GitHub, if you're
Mm,
listening, this is what we want to have on GitHub by these guys. This is awesome. This is really cool.
that's amazing. If you could try it for $2, just and then
Yeah,
oh, all you
yeah.
have to do is just basically connect it to GitHub and exactly just like that. Whoa. Wow, this is really, really cool. That's super handy, especially if you're working with other folks on board and stuff. I think that's definitely a
Yeah.
good thing to have. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about
With
that.
excuse me. So it does say that the $2 model doesn't use the high quality model, whatever that means.
Okay. Shell out the 20 bucks.
Yeah, yeah, 15
Everything in
bucks, but
basic, higher.
still,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And come
Yeah.
on, GPT 4.0 is not that, or Groq or whatever. I mean, I don't even know what they use.
Yes.
I forgot if this like a custom model, or if they use the existing commercial or open source ones. But
That
yeah,
is
yeah,
that's
super
really
cool.
cool. Wow. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, AI Tinkers took place, and in a rare event, what ended up happening was San Francisco normally doesn't get hot, but it was hot yesterday, and this building doesn't have air conditioning built in. So
Yep.
we had so many people stuffed in that room. It was just a full house, as you kind of saw a little bit from the video. And so like a lot of people were sweating for like hours. Literally, I had like
It
a
was
t-shirt
bad.
on.
It was really
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's how you know like these people are dedicated, and like the nerd level was like 5,000 because like you're kind of there and just hanging out and you're watching this, and it's really cool. And one of the things I didn't realize in this building is there's actually the Julius AI startup that's in there. There's I think Browser Base is in there. There are a lot of AI like really slept on startups that are in there operating literally as a co-working space. And so
Yeah,
that
it
was
is an
really
AI
interesting.
co-working space, right? It's called,
Yeah.
was it called Solaris? I think so,
Yeah,
Solaris
Solaris
AI or
AI. Yeah.
something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I understand. Like the whole building is just like AI startups. That's the whole building, which is insane. That's so
Yes.
awesome.
And they have a wall with all the people who have been there. And
Yep,
I think I saw Avi Schiffman write up his name in
yep,
there. I wonder if he started there.
yeah.
I don't know.
Swix was on there.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of like people from the community. Yeah, were on the on the wall. Yeah, yeah, and it's nice. I mean, it's like you can see through the windows in these offices. And the
Yes.
first thing that we notice is like they have like the most expensive Apple monitors, like the really expensive ones. But then again, like the furniture is completely crap. Beds, chairs, bad everything. But the
Yes.
monitors, those are the best.
That's how you know they've received some funding because they have literally like two Pro XDR displays. They have like a car that's just literally floating there, and their chairs are just, yeah, I mean, it's IKEA chairs. I'm like, bro, all right, all right, all right. Like, first of all, yeah, whatever. It's like, but hey, it works. So I guess, yeah, if it can make you ship faster, software faster, I don't see why not,
Go
right?
for it. Go for it.
Justify.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm a really bad father. Like if I had kids, like they would just be running all over me. Like, Dad, I need this like expensive toy because it makes me ship faster. I was like, all right, as long as it's technology based, sure, go ahead. I could justify the money for sure. And speaking of technology and money, Claude Artifacts. Claude, if those aren't familiar, it's a model from Anthropic, and it's the competitor to ChatGPT right now, and it's been winning a lot of people's hearts. It's actually they released a new model called Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and with this model, they actually enable this feature called Labs, or with the lab feature called Artifacts. And what you can do is describe various things, and it'll generate the code for you in this little window. And then within that code, people have been generating like little games in JavaScript. They've been generating like full-fledged like websites and stuff, and interactive like 3D playgrounds. And it's just been really, really amazing that people have been able to produce these things and create puzzles and like just a fireworks show just from the artifacts by doing either a couple prompts or even just one prompt, and it generates it all in one fly. And a lot of people like, the Flappy Chicken. It's not instead of Flappy Bird. You can make a little Flappy Chicken clone. And this is from a good friend of our show as well, Ashuto AI for Success. He posts a lot of these types of discoveries and videos and various things, and he kind of brought this to my awareness of doing all the work that it takes to combine this and show us this. And so people are like making little games with these artifacts. So what I find really surprising is that people who had ideas but just didn't really know how to code can now go into this Claude artifacts and start generating these types of things and just letting their creativity go wild. So what I would love to see, if anyone who sees this and then goes and generates a game, please let us know, because we'd love to feature you on our show. Or if you're making anything with the artifacts, we want to know like what you're building, how you're building it. I think this is just really interesting because we're entering an age where the barrier to entry is going to be much lower, and it's just going to be a factor of your own creativity and what you want to output. I mean, these examples are really, really creative, and I find them really fascinating with, how people have been able to come together and put together these artifacts that are available. So, and I've been hearing a lot of really positive feedback as well, and I've been using it myself, Claude Sonnet 3.5, for debugging or for coding, like React apps. It seems to be really, really good at doing that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
There was a company yesterday at AI Tinkerers that
Mm-hmm.
had this, so artifacts,
Oh,
but
yes.
in open source. I think they were
Oh,
called E2B, E
yes.
number two at B.
Yes.
I saw them as well at the AI Engineer World's Fair conference last week or
Oh,
2 weeks ago.
yes.
I don't see them on the list. I just checked the list from AI Thinkers. I don't see them on the list. I'm pretty sure it was
Yes.
called E2B.
Yeah,
So yeah,
E2B
that's a
code
completely open.
interpreter. Yeah.
Oh, you've got it there. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's like an open source alternative to artifacts. Which I mean, it's pretty crazy how fast things are moving now in this direction. Like have your AI create the code for whatever app you want to have. It's awesome.
Yes, yeah, and they have this. It runs inside the code runs inside their own sandbox, and to me, that'd be really cool. Cloud runtime for AI agents, so you can have this code that runs in the sandbox in your browser, and that is just really, really incredible. Wow, yeah, things are moving extremely fast in this space, and I think it's
Yep.
just really amazing, and we're really glad to just kind of be able to tell you guys what we're seeing because I feel like it can help other people. There's just a lot going on in this space. And then another friend of the show is Pliny the Prompter, is my favorite favorite person. I have a theory of who this person actually is, but I don't want to dox them. But I actually think it's actually a famous person that we all know that's using this to basically kind of point back at these, kind of give us an insight. Pliny the Prompter, for those who don't know, is as a red teaming engineer, and red teaming in the security realm means like likes to test the security of the different things, but Pliny specifically focuses on language models and like jailbreaks them in essence, and takes off the guardrails from these models to show you how quickly and how vulnerable these language models can be used to do different things. And a lot of these companies work really hard to make sure that there's guardrails in, but I think Pliny's trying to prove that it's going to need a lot more effort beyond that. And so one of the things that I found really interesting that he shares, and I want to share back with you, the rest of the world, is not necessarily about red teaming today, but more about what they call hyperparameters. So for those of you who are coding in the language models and stuff, this is more for you. And what the insight that I got from this is basically, if you can, instead of maybe changing up your prompt, maybe just giving that same prompt and just giving various temperatures, or having, changing the top P for the output and see what it generates, and maybe do your own type of ranking system to rank the generations for that prompt, can give you maybe better output than maybe what you could be expecting. So I think his call to action at the bottom is like, can someone basically see if they can do something where you can make a system where you can have these different hyperparameters maybe run in parallel or something, and then just pre-select the one that has the highest ranking. That could just that by itself could just be a really interesting system, but it can help so many things like AI agents that go and do tasks that are always changing and always going to be updating on the fly. It could also help with output for regular stuff that you're doing as well. Yeah.
But do you understand how this works? Is it like is there not does this mean that there's an optimal setting for each LLM that will make that LLM better, more accurate in all use cases, or is it like well, I'm interested in I don't know, in frogs. I don't know,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
if I want to learn more about frogs, then GPT has to have these settings for the best
Yes.
answers, or is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
think it's very case specific because the language model and the attention mechanism is really kind of like what you're really tuning here. You're tuning, how creative is the attention mechanism going to go to do either like pick the thing that it needs to do to fill in what it's doing. And then I guess from what I learned from the tokenizer and the vector exercises is that like in its prediction thing, it's, all of this stuff that's been trained on is in that like vector space. And so if you're tuning these parameters, you're basically going to pulling out different parts of things in the vector space, which just means that like then when you start kind of looking forward to get more information as it's generating stuff, it's going to start reaching in other areas that it maybe didn't reach before. So by changing the hyperparameter, you can then start sending it off into like different tangents. And the way I think about it is like, a big river, as it's flowing down, it has these streams that go out. So if you start going into different areas of the streams, you start to discover different, creatures or animals and things. And you're, in this case, I think you're kind of just doing this programmatically with code and saying, hey, go out and pull different stuff, and then maybe rank the one that has either the destination that you're looking for, but I think also for one of the use cases I'm thinking is more for creative writing or scripting. So what I wanted to do is actually use different parameters to get very creative and then get a concept and pull that out. And then go over here and pull that concept out and just kind of, just collect these things as an agent and then try to use these newer ideas, and do something with it, and it's just more of like just testing various things out. I think there's a lot of different use cases this can go down. But I think by putting this out there, and I would love to hear if anyone takes on this task, and seeing what they built, because I think that's going to be the more interesting part, right? Of what use case do you have, and then how did you do it? And we'd love to have you on the show. Just definitely reach out. We're definitely open to having anyone who works on any projects doing in the AI space, or even things you're thinking about. We'd love to feature and talk with you because that's just kind of what we do. We nerd out ourselves, right? Yeah, that would be interesting. I think another thing that kind of came across our radar, speaking of agents, was this project where the mixture of agents using Groq, and so they were able to introduce a mixture of agents powered by Groq and LangChain. So you can basically use this framework to kind of configure the agents to do like many different tasks. And for those not familiar with Groq, Groq, they have hardware that's dedicated for running these language models, that they basically have gone through and have, instead of making a GPU, they've made their own custom hardware in silicon that I think they started in 2016. And all of this stuff is optimized, actually, not specifically for the language model, they had it kind of for a more general task. And it just so happens to do inference for language models extremely well. And so with this type of thing available and people who are playing around with agents, the concept of an agent is just like having an enhanced automation to go off and do different things for you, instead of actually telling it to write the specific email and do the specific text and do these specific tasks. You just kind of give a more general task and hand that off to an agent. The problem with agentic type of workflows is that there's a bottleneck with inference, which means when you give it a task to do it, how long does it take for you that endpoint to come back with that information? And as you've seen with like OpenAI or some of these other models, they stream things in pretty slowly, but with Groq it just comes back in near instant time. So if you combine that power with this type of technology, you can go through there, and that was something I saw on my radar from Xiaomi, Cup Idea, which is interesting there.
Yeah, so we also had dinner with Rick from Groq last week.
That's right.
You and I,
Yes.
and we talked about. Did he launch that project? He was talking about. Can we talk about that?
I haven't seen that on my radar. Have you? I was looking for it.
I am looking right now on his feeds. Maybe we
Okay.
should not talk about it then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Coming
Let's move
coming
that to
soon.
next.
Definitely stay
Coming
tuned
soon.
in, if you haven't, because yeah,
That's something very relevant.
yes, yeah, because that'd be really cool. And yeah, Grok's based in Mountain View. We're based in the Bay Area, and we have the opportunity to be here in the middle of it all to go to these types of events and report back really from the ground floor. And this is just really exciting, and we just love this type of technology. So we're just really glad that you're able to kind of join in. If you haven't had a chance, give a thumbs up or retweet the show so that it gets out there to like a much broader audience, because we like to nerd out on this stuff, and I think either if you don't, then other friends may in your circle as well, and I think that's always very helpful. I found this one extremely fascinating, about this one here from like OpenInterpreter, and they're using the the Mistral's AI Codestral. So like there's a code specific model that's released from Mistral, and they're able to run this completely locally on their machine without internet. And basically, for those who don't know what OpenInterpreter is, it's like a system that you can have running on your machine that can run commands locally. So instead of you giving it the password to your calendar and your password to your email accounts and all these things, you can just tell the OpenInterpreter like, hey, send Ronald an email. It'll launch your mail app. It'll go into mail and open up a new mail and type in Ronald and then go send the email on your behalf. And that's
Yeah.
just like, boom. So what's cool about it is then you can have workflows that sit on top of it. You can press a button and say, hey, can you schedule a dinner with Ronald next week and the Groq guy? And then it can come back to you saying, hey, there's something there. Do you want me to schedule it for 7:30 instead? Like, or next week or whatever date? And because it's running on your computer, it can do all that type of thing. So that is really, to me, they were using, I think, another endpoint that's connected to the internet, like OpenAI. But I think the breakthrough here is that with Codestral as a model, it's powerful enough to run locally on your machine and able to be combined with this type of system to be completely offline, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, they just started out as an open source version of Code Interpreter, OpenAI's Code Interpreter. Although I think they renamed it a few times, right? OpenAI. But they stuck to the name Open Interpreter. So that's how it got started. So very interesting to see like how that has evolved since I think like last year, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, less than a year when Code Interpreter was launched by OpenAI.
Yeah, that is really interesting, and I'm excited for this project, and um, it'd be really interesting kind of see how this kind of develops here and stuff. Speaking of things that
Absolutely.
you can do with AI, I found this story really fascinating. And for those who haven't seen this, it's basically this guy was able to take his grandpa's poetry and turned it into a beautiful song using Suno AI. And so that was really interesting. His grandpa like heard the song and he was in tears. And I thought it was a really interesting example because I feel like grandparents and stuff in general, like they tend to like focus a lot on like physical things and the AI stuff. They know it's out there, but they don't really know what the impact is. And so what I found interesting here is maybe a task for the weekend to surprise your parents or grandparents is like take something that either they have written, if they're poetic or not, and see if you could turn it into a song as a challenge, right? And see if you can get them to react and then it'd be really interesting because it's something that's so personal to them and you are able to take this technology and then do something with it and then show them back something. I think for them that's I think where the reality really starts to settle of like, whoa, these systems are doing things that they may not realize how it impacts them. And for me, it was a really like nice little story to kind of hear about AI in general in this space, but then how it impacts people who may not know what it's doing. Like the fact that we're talking about artifacts, they don't know that there's Claude, they don't know that there's all these different models at OpenAI. They just know that AI is out there and it's evil or something. It's like, but yeah, they have these various theories about what they think AI is. And so for me, any opportunity that you can have a chance to maybe show a loved one what its capabilities are, I think is really, really cool. It's a good way to use some of these AI use cases, And yeah, and I think the last thing I saw on my radar, which I thought was really cool, was that somebody was able to take all of this data from Google Maps and they're able to use like an image embedding to train it on all the Street View data. And you can take a picture of anywhere you are in the world, and it will tell you where you are in the world, which I find really interesting as an iOS app. It's like, holy moly, like, how do you think of like, okay, I'm just going to get all this data from Google Street View and just kind of try to train it to a model so that it can do this task? I think that is just for me, the pretty monstrous type of a task to do.
Though there are also things like EXIF data in images, right? If you take a photo,
Mm-hmm.
of course the phone itself has GPS.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it seems like an embedding for all Google Street View. That seems like a huge undertaking.
Yeah, I don't know. I would actually love to figure out like what's their real story, you know? Like is this like legit? Are they I mean,
Yeah.
is it literally just an API? You know, where's their app? I want to see that because um
Okay,
they're like,
well,
where in the world? This is oh, this is nuts. Because I guess some drawings are based I don't know, like that's
yeah, I
definitely
mean,
not
yeah,
EXIF data,
yeah.
right? Like that's
No,
like
no, 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 no.
yeah.
But can we see a, that would be nice, it's like a street view of the location that it tagged. That'd be
Yeah.
rainbow. Yeah.
I think he said he's fixing the bugs actively according to this. We're in the world cloudy. Oh, dude, this guy's on fire. This guy's also cracked. No sleep, bruh.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
He's
So there
fixing the
is vision,
bugs.
at least there's definitely vision involved for sure.
Yes. Whoa.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, end of privacy. I mean, think about this from a little bit of an extracted sense. I'm not trying to get too dark here, but if you are like, for example, who was that guy who was extradited because he shared some secrets about what was going on in,
Assange?
yeah, him
Yeah.
and what's his name, the other guy who's in Russia, I think, um, who called out all the
Oh,
security.
yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. Edward Snowden. Yeah.
Yeah, Snowden, right? There's a reason he doesn't show his background. There's a reason he doesn't show various things of like where he's at, is
Right, right.
because there is enough data that's out there just in your surroundings that can reveal, where you actually are, or like really close to it. And there's just a lot of data that is out there. So it just kind of like opens your eye a little bit to like how much data is really, really out there, and then like what people are trying to do with these types of things to
Yeah.
just showcase like so it kind of goes in both directions,
Yeah.
and it,
So
it
you
kind of
don't
brings it.
need AI for that, right? I mean, there's like not sure if you've seen these people. It's like geolocators or whatever they're called.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
people who are you just send a photo or like a video,
yeah,
and they can locate you where you are based on like the sun. Indications like weather, which I mean, I mean, I can understand like okay, I see a lot of pickup trucks. It has to be America
right,
versus Europe or China, for example. That I can
right,
understand, but then they
yeah.
go into to all these crazy details, and like within minutes they figured out like where a video was filmed, like the street it was filmed in, which
Oh
just sounds
wow.
insane to me. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, because you
Uh,
see the shadows and like, is it South Pole?
yep.
Is it Northern Hemisphere?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
time of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
year,
Yeah. But also, do
intensity.
you see like things like, for example, a bus stop, for example? So there must be a bus. So I mean, all these things are taken into account, and it's fascinating to see that. And it's pure human. Yeah, I don't know how to call that human. I don't know. Yeah, capacity to figure out where people are.
That's right.
It's completely wild.
Yeah, so that's kind of all we have this week so far in AI for the week of July 12th as we're wrapping up into the weekend. And if you're liking the show so far, definitely feel free to follow along. My name is Ray Fernando, and I used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years, and it's just been really fun now to kind of be on our own, playing around, tinkering with AI. And my friend Ronald Mannak, who has an app called Pico on the App Store. If you haven't had a chance, go check it out. You're basically supporting local development, and we're local people like doing our thing. And I think it's really important to support people like us who are trying to do this stuff and put stuff out there. And we're just trying to keep up with AI because the speed of which things move so quickly is just absolutely bonkers. And so these are some of the things that kind of came to our radar that we liked and we thought we'd share with you because we thought maybe you'd like this as well. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can find me at rayfernando.ai. And then Ronald, you can go ahead and promote and pimp your stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I'm Ronald Mannak, Mannak on Twitter. So yeah, follow us, and I hope to see you again next week.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for joining in, and we'll see you every Friday right around 12 to 1 Pacific Standard Time. So right around that time, we'll be online, and we'll see you next week. Take care, y'all. Bye.